Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderfall Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to take a look at the Warhammer 40,000 article. Game balance is at the heart of this official Warhammer 40,000 rules update. Now, multiple reasons I think this is interesting. First of all, this is a direct sort of, reaction from Games Workshop to, the problems that are in the Warhammer 40k community and with the game balance in general. Also, what's interesting with this is I'm interested in the effects this might have on Age of Sigmar as well, Games Workshop's other primary game. This is really good to see. I mean, them noticing that tournament games are maybe not going the way that they should, and definitely not the way Games Workshop want them to go. So I really appreciate this balancing. Now, let's go have a look. First of all, they go the Warhammer 40,000 universe, battlefield, blah blah blah. If you've been keeping an eye on the game's latest developments, we're looking at, you'll be aware that competitive play has been dominated recently by certain types of list. 40k is a game with a lot of moving parts, new codexes, campaign books, White Dwarf articles, and more are re-released, all of which have effect on balance of the meta. Nevertheless, the rule teams are committed to ensuring the game stays fun for everyone, no matter what army they play. This is especially important in match play, where the principles of fairness is key to the format, not least because it's where so many players meet for a game for the first time in clubs and at tournaments. With that in mind, to date, the Warhammer 40,000 rules team are releasing the first in a now quarterly series of balance updates, the Balance Data Slate, designed to help level the match play field. Each quarter you can look forward to a short list of rules tweaks aimed at boosting factions that need a killer edge and taking a bit of a sting out of those riding higher of the competitive pile. These will complement the regular chapter approved Grand Tournament mission packs, in which missions, objective points values will all be updated. As with all Warhammer rules, if you're not an official Games Workshop event, if you're not at one, these balance changes are optional. You can choose to do whatever you want. This is really cool, in honesty. The fact that they now have clearly shown that they are aware that some armies are flying high, some armies are flying low, and they want to address this. This is absolutely fantastic. I couldn't be happier. Now, many will know I am much more of a casual sort of player in many of my games. I do enjoy going to a tournament and playing competitively, but the vast majority of games we play are much more casual, and I really enjoy narrative gaming, probably more than I enjoy competitive gaming. However, if the game is good for a competitive player, it is good for everyone else. Competitive play and just the balance parts there give you a great edge of how to set up your games. They really help with balancing for things like narrative play and for open play, etc. within the system. So with that said, let's take a look at what exactly they've done to 40k. Now, I guess before that as well, we've got the thing where they're going to have quarterly updates. We know that both games have been working on a half-year rotation. You would get your chapter approved or your General's Handbook, as it is for Age of Sigmar, and the side games also have their own. I mean, Warcry's got the Tome of Champions and stuff like that as well. But the fact they're moving to quarterly updates, so every 3 months, is really solid. I mean, more updates. It's a living document as well. It's a free downloaded update. I don't mind buying, the General's Handbook, etc. once a year when that gives me all my missions and stuff. But these updates remaining free is really good. And so let's have a look at the Balance Data Slate. We can download that here, the Balance Data Slate. Now, the first thing, I guess, to notice about this Balance Data Slate is it is really nicely formatted. I will say the one thing with the FAQs, it is just a pile of text and it's really hard to sort of look at. This makes it quite clear. You've got a universal match play rule up here. You've got separate factions over here, clear headers. Really solid. So the first one, I guess, the universal match play rule they do here is they've seen that aircraft have been a dominant force within the game, and they're limiting the amount of aircraft in the size of games you play. Pretty much your 1,000-point games are 1, your 2,000-point games are 2, and your 3,000-point games or your higher point games are 3. So this is really cool. It's a great simple sort of balancing part to the game. They've seen the problem. They've put a little restriction on it, still allowing you to play with your toys, but definitely putting some restrictions on it. And then we go into all the updates. Now, Adeptus Mechanicus and Drukhari have points updates. They've said, well, we know we want to sort of put this nail in the coffin early, so we've put the points updates for them out. And then we've got ones for others. Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights getting objectives secured and counting as 5 models and objectives, or 10 if they're Titanic, is really solid. Necrons adding core to a bunch of units is really, really tasty. There is a lot of stuff in there here for Necrons. I have just about finished painting a Necron army. I'll be finished it in the next couple of days. And the fact, yeah, all this stuff gets core is really awesome. The Chaos Space Marines, Death of the False Emperor, I like that it applies to pretty much everything now. Each time you get exploding hits on a 6, which is nice. And then you got some cool changes to Astra Militarum. Lumen Russ has a 2-up save. Tank commanders can issue commands to any friendly tank, which is cool. And then your regiment sort of can do extra commands if they're sort of in range, which is nice. I mean, are there any of these going to be majorly game-breaking? I don't think. Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights, that's a really solid one there, just giving them some objective play. And the Necron ones, I feel, is massive. The Astra Militarum and Chaos ones, I mean, the Chaos is missing 2 wound Chaos Space Marines, definitely. But they're nice changes. Maybe they don't fix everything for the army, but they definitely give them something more, which is never a bad thing. The Orc one here, though, has clearly targeted a unit. The Boomdacker Snatch, so you can only include, you cannot include more than one of each of the following units: Boomdacker Snazwagons, Custom Booster Blasters, Megatrap Scapjacks, Rocket Truck Squeak Buggies, and Shock Jump Dragsters. So all the different buggies, essentially. You can include 1 unit of each of these different things, but you cannot include like 3 units of Boomdacker Snazwagons, etc. So that's pretty cool. And like some of these come in multiple, like Boomdacker Snazwagons, I think come in units of 3, so you can take multiple of them in that singular unit. Sorry, is that the... No, that's the Rocket Truck Squeak Buggies come in units of 3. And so you can take multiple of that same unit within the one squad, but you can't take multiple of that squad. And then we've got some points changes here. We generally see most things have gone up in points for the 2 armies. And points changes generally really, really solid. Really happy with this all round, just seeing points changes. And once again, just really well laid out. And so the rest of the article here, they pretty much go on like flyers, yet we've seen that this is an issue. And so we want to limit it. Buggies, the Orc Buggy army we've seen as an issue. Early points, of course, and miscellaneous improvements to other various factions we've all seen. And so, yeah, I'm really happy with this. They're going to be in effect for all future official Warhammer events, as well as many upcoming independent Warhammer 40k match play events, such as the Leicester City GT, Frontline Gaming Open New Orleans, and Games of Westeros X in Västerås, Sweden. But this is really, really cool. I'm happy for what this is, the future of all Games by Games Workshop, and how they've sort of addressed the balance here. It should be really fun to hopefully shake up the meta of 40k and really give us something interesting to do. It'll be really interesting to see how these go forward. I mean, it was a decent upgrade. I really like the Necron changes, but yeah. What do you all think of the changes to 40k? And indeed, if this is going to, I guess, go over to Age of Sigmar, what do you think of them? And so that's the end of the video. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here at Cinderfall Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the video's description to our Discord server. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so by either Patreon or YouTube members, or going and purchasing some merch from Teespring, on which you'll find all the links for Patreon, YouTube members and Teespring in the description of the video as well. Lastly, we'd like to give a shout out to all our patrons and YouTube members who help support the channel. It's amazing what you do, and it really helps us get more and more stuff out for the channel. So thank you to our patrons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Dynet226, Anton Nielsen, JJ Austrian, and Average Wargamer. And a special shout out to our YouTube members as well: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Steve T, The Real Zeop, Chris Wallace, Turai12, Vinny, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, and Revan R. Lastly, a special shout out first of all to Lady Witchfox Art for doing all the amazing artwork for the channel you can see here, and to Xmorphic as well for doing an amazing job doing all the background work on our Discord server. Thank you to everyone once again for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, comment below. Thank you all. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.